Previously on Ash of God's Redemption. When we last left Hopper, he was hot on Thorn's trail, just a couple days behind, headed for Frigga. It seems he has a bit of a different view of who Drukid is exactly, and a bit of information to convey. Somehow, Gleda is rather important for what's going to happen soon. He needs to find her. He needs to make sure she's safe.
You are like a blade in a worn-out scabbard. What can you do if rust melds you together?
Alright, so we're back on the road with Hopper, who is headed to Frigga. So let's see, we can take the Marsh Road, the Secret Pathway, or the Berry Path. Let's take the secret path across the Vandal Swamp. Approaching the next turn, Ake nods. Oh, there's Gaenor's mansion. It's the local huntsman. Slimy bastard, if ever there was one. Rubs shoulders with toll collectors and hangs out with bandits. Elias, the local guard commander, was after him for ages, but he's since lost all hope of catching him. Realizing that even scoundrels may be useful, you head for the mansion, accompanied by a grumbling Ake. You find a huntsman there, arrows stuck in his abdomen. Gaenor is alive, barely. If he doesn't receive aid immediately, he's going to die. Well, once again, we'll be the compassionate person. You bring the huntsman into the house, remove the arrow, noting the peculiar arrowhead, and bandage the wound. It's clear that Gaenor will soon die without proper aid. Time to think things through. The forest is home to healing herbs. The huntsman would recover much faster if you were to find them. Potions and magic are viable options too, but you hate to waste resources on such a scoundrel. However, without such measures, it takes several days to nurse the wounded huntsman back to health. This is actually gonna be important. I got the little quill icon that's hidden. Move my picture there for a sec. I like that. There, the little quill icon right here. So this is an important decision. Let's go collect some herbs. Not sure Hopper should really be doing too much magic right now. You decide it would be much faster to venture into the woods and find the herbs alone. As soon as you gather the necessary ingredients, the glade is beset by armed men. Because of course it is. You notice an archer amongst them. You unsheath your sword with a friendly smile. Seriously, every time Hopper goes somewhere alone. Well, at least we have more skill points to spend. And there is no good spot for this. We're surrounded. Alright. Oh, well, yeah, let's... Oh, wait, not that one. Sure, let's reduce someone's energy. And 10 damage to everybody. You get some damage, and you get some damage, and you get some damage! Everybody gets some damage! Now that I think about it, that was a waste. Oh well. So the next time the hit everybody button comes around, he would have died. Oh well. Sure, let's upgrade our health. It's rude. Great, I can take out the archer without him ever firing a shot. Still 3 of them left. Very well. Every time he gets a kill, he increases his attack power. Well, that was easy enough. You approach the archer's corpse after the fight to reaffirm your suspicions. You were right. All of the arrows in the archer's quiver have the same strange arrowheads, just like the one you removed from the huntsman's abdomen. You return to the mansion with the herbs and make a potion. Just a sprinkle of magic, and Gaynor should come too. As Gaynor starts to feel better, he tells you he quarreled with some scoundrels. He even notified the guards, but was ambushed and shot. While lying on the ground, he had a vision of an old woman touching his belly and easing his pain. She uttered a single word, lawn. You realize this is the hint you've been looking for. As you part ways with Gaynor, a captain and his squad break into the mansion. The captain introduces himself as Elias and asks what happened. Gaynor points to you, claiming that it was you who injured him. The guards ready their weapons, so you need to come up with an excuse. You know what, let's just try the papers then. You brandish the papers with the prince's seal. Elias carefully reads them, looking surprised. He tells you to wait until he gets to the bottom of things. It's not the sharpest tool in this shed, so you lose 2 days while the captain confirms your authority. Well, so much for that. Hey, good job. All the time we saved by gathering the herbs, we lost waiting for the captain. Jerk. Alright. Well, let's take the robber's track towards Frigga then. I'm going to give in. And I don't think I'm giving in anymore. We're at 75% curse power now. That's probably not good. On the other hand, it keeps upgrading his powers, so there's that. You catch up with a squad of Isanan soldiers. They look odd for Burkanan troops. Faces painted black and hair woven into dual braids. I've heard about these black snouts, Ake jeers. Call them mock vandals, or the night watch. These Asanans are so funny. Let's recount the squad's story. Ake's laughter finally subsides. Did you ever hear of a warrior named Druer, you ask? He died in the Vale. In a northern campaign of old, he was one of the best warriors and mentors in all of Isana, maybe even all of Burkana. A hero of that magnitude only arises in Isana once each generation. There's always someone who stands among the rest. Korbop was the first. Ake listens as you recount the story. 460 years ago, the Gabonan War began. For the first time since the Battle of the Drowsy Deep, Burkana clashed with Frisia, and suffered a crippling defeat at Jormung. The Frisians surrounded the Burkanan king's headquarters inside the city. A small squad was surrounded in the market square. The Northerners' next attack would likely mean their doom. The warrior, Korbop, saved the day, you continue. There are times, he said, when you need the element of surprise. He parted his hair, making 2 braids and slathering with soap to make them stand upright, like a pair of horns. Then he smeared his face with soot and rushed at the enemy. He surprised the Frisians with his fighting skills and his demon-like appearance. While the enemy was still confused by his trickery, the Burkans followed him and broke through. You shrug. Ever since then, there's been a black-snouted squad in the Isanan army. I won't approve of it, because it won't surprise anyone, except maybe you. As for Korbop, he carried on as a regular soldier and refused any honors after that battle. He's also famous for siring many children. Feels like I still run into one now and then. That was almost cheerful. Alright, we made it to Frigga.
The road to the west of Frigga is full of refugees and retreating troops. People are being driven from the ancient fort by the war and the reaping. And while you can run from war, the reaping will claim anyone. The pyre is burning. The crows are circling the place, and it seems as though all hope is lost. You don't even know why you need to visit the abandoned Frigga. Do you hope to uncover another piece of this treacherous puzzle? Or maybe you hope to catch up to Thornbrennan's daughter and figure out the source of her power. Do you have enough time for that? The blackness possessing your arm is slowly creeping up. The curse crawls its way to your heart, making your journey into a race with death itself. Thankfully, you managed to leave it in the dust. For now.
Your squad nears Frigga's gate. The last defenders abandoned the White Fortress stone. Thornbrennan and his daughter are somewhere up ahead. How could she resist a reaping? The question weighs on your mind. The gate is wide open. No guards in sight. It's no surprise that you don't see a toll collector. There aren't even any archers on the towers. The town is empty, the oldest fort in Burkana abandoned. What's there to do in an empty fort? Where should one go? Rask fidgets restlessly in the saddle. He had a small shop in Frigga, too. He sold it long ago, but the memories still haunt him. He touches the wall as he rides by. You find this kind of sentimentalism silly. You feel a sudden burst of unbearable pain. You turn to Rask and watch as he grows pale and wipes the sweat from his brow with shaking hands. He clearly shares your anguish, which means you were right all along. One of your brethren, one of the few Umbra left, has passed from this mortal coil. Rask catches his breath. Damn, it got me good. Don't say a word. I felt it too, but it was muddy. Some kind of sorcery seems to have gotten in the way. Could have happened today, yesterday, even a couple of days ago. Discuss it more later. Alright. So we can talk to the prince, talk to Rask, talk to Ake. That's the whole picture. Alright, let's start by talking to Rask about what he felt. Why are you making that face? Yes, my senses have sharpened. You're not the only one to get to the heart of things, you know. These are terrible times if our Umbra brethren lose their bodies in such a foul place. Who are you talking about exactly? I felt it too. Barely, though. Either the place or the weapon has been sealed with a spell, making it hard to tell when and where it all happened. Can you at least tell me who died? That's what I should be asking you. Did this blackness of yours rob you of your intuition? It's my old pal Korbaf who lost his body. Recently, he'd been going by the name of Drukit. Don't worry, though. He's seen worse. We were just talking about that guy. What would he be doing here? Isn't that obvious? Frigga should be governed by the Prince of Isana, while Korbaf has always been a frequent guest at his court. So, nothing surprising about good old Drukit appearing in Frigga. The only thing that surprises me is that he actually died. Umbra are not easily killed. Haven't seen Korbaf for ages. It's called Druer back then. but he disappeared on the northern Palean Islands. Many theories behind it. I think it somehow leads back to us. Yeah, probably. That's right. Korbath loved life so much, he wouldn't just die that easily. His hand was forced. Whatever. I'll meet him later. Though he likes to pull pranks on me whenever he switches bodies. Takes a sweet time before he introduces himself. Let's hope he doesn't possess the body of a shaman, or Friesen. Although, what difference would it make? To be honest, I have no time for Korbath right now. There's a well of mysteries to solve, so I must avoid distractions. Where's he headed now? Dunno. He was always quite fickle. One thing I know for sure. Korbath only possesses the bodies of certain lowlifes, although he doesn't prefer using a peasant's body either. If the times dictate, he'll have to make do with the body he gets. Never could understand him. Always hiding something, and all those kids. But I've no time to save some nobleman from a death's embrace. What's your take on this? What do you think? Don't you see what I've been reduced to? For years now, every little sound startles me. I've been bound to this body ever since the Ashland wasteland appeared. If it goes, I go with it. Perhaps my death will be even more final than human death. First you bring it up, then you say it's not your secret to tell. See my hand? That's my secret. Don't know how to unveil it, though. And now I'm bound to this body, too. I won't be just flying away and looking for a new shell like Korbath does. Let's talk some other time. Let's go talk to the prince. You leave the horses at the hitching post and blend in among the guards. The garrison is ready to retreat. You stumble upon the prince in the crowd. You've met him before. He's surprised to see you and calls you over. Well, I'll be. A scribe from Isana. Here. What brings you here, Hopper? Are you lost or something? I mean, there's a war out there. Any day now, Gels will enter the fortress, and I'm not going to stick around to welcome them. What do you need here? I'm looking for Thorn Brennan. He offended the Juranan king and vanished without apologizing, so he needs to be taught a lesson in respect. I'm afraid it's easy to offend the Juranan king, even without ever stepping foot into his kingdom. Thorn Brennan was in Frigga, and then left for the White Tower. He's looking for his son. I don't think he's sorry about stepping on the king's toes. Thorn managed to get out of there? Well, he already has. I'm almost sure, because he should be accompanied by Drukit, my best warrior. And that's who we were talking about earlier with Rask. Okay, now this all kinda starts making sense. Not sure if Thorn had enough time to save his son, though. I'd suggest you don't make a detour for the White Tower. You have a better chance of finding Thorn on his way to Opacum. Excuse me, Your Highness. Didn't you catch a glimpse of Thorn Brennan's daughter in his squad? Should be about 16. Prince Trig has no interest, but I'd still like to see her. She did something rather remarkable back in Albius. Maybe she was there, but I'm not sure. It's not like I examined his squad. They helped me with the Gels, and that's it. Also, Trig is no longer a prince. He's already been crowned. I should leave Frigga now if I ever want to wear a crown too. Where will the Burkanan defenses be stationed now? Go visit Lon if you want to know more. He's commander of the guard now. He'll be leading a small squad as cover. You've not much time, though. They're also leaving Frigga soon. Farewell. Prince Hedderlig mounts his horse and orders his men to head east. The squad soon vanishes from sight, leaving you in the abandoned fort. Companions look to you with hope. This may be the last peaceful day, the calm before the storm, unless the storm has already begun. Rask furrows his brow. So what? Do you call that a siege? Still in one piece. Now to find this lawn of yours, get the latest news, and be on our way. And let me tell you something. I've heard of the White Tower. Not a place a man should just wander into. I've heard about this White Tower, you say. No sane person would linger there. It makes sense to head straight to Opacum, but I've got some unfinished business here. I should look for Lon. I know that Lon fellow, Ake mumbles. Not a bad soldier, but always whining about something. They say that when Lon visits the market, his mug turns the milk sour. Don't worry, Ake. We've got nothing to fear. We're not milkmen, right? We'll just have a small chat with him and be on our way. Okay. There's Lon.
Oh.
Who are you people? Don't remember calling you here. Damn it, Ake! Why are you dawdling about? We're the only ones here, and we'll soon be leaving. The bandits have suspended the siege for now, but they could always return. What is it you want? Hopper is the one leading our squad. He's a healer and a scribe and, well, many things. He's the one you should talk to. I must say, I'm glad to see you're in good health, though you seem as depressed as usual.
Why?
Well, it's hardly sunshine and rainbows in these parts. First a siege, then the reaping. Then I get shot by an arrow. Thankfully, this hag came and fixed up my sword arm. She was really strange, let me tell you. Strange hag, you say? Have you noticed any other oddities since she healed your wound?
Why?
Oh, have I? On my arm, for one. It's itching like crazy. You're a healer. Can you take a look? You nod and examine Lon's hand. Under the already familiar spell work, you find a short sentence. It complements the previous one, like a sword in its sheath. You will save yourself by saving others. Ye gods, now that's a relief. The strange thing is gone. Was it magic? Did the hag curse me? I'd like to find that hag and have a little chat with her. Good luck to you. She vanished without a trace. I just want to know how you made this curse go away. Hopper isn't some cheap conjurer, if that's what you're thinking. He's got a temple license, and Prince Trieg's full support. Hopper helped you, so you should be grateful. It's not your place to ask how he did it. You're right, Ake. I'm shaken by the siege, but I can still appreciate another's kindness. I bow to you, healer, and thank you for helping me. Alas, I've no other reward to give you. As a scribe, I value information above all else. Your answers will add to my knowledge, which is rewarding enough. So what old woman are you talking about? Dunno. First I thought she was one of the locals. They helped a great deal during the assault. She dealt with those wounds wonderfully. However, she whispered some strange things while she bandaged me. Invocation, it seems. Then she up and vanished. She kept the witch from entering the fort, though. What witch are you talking about? Just like to parrot back all the bullshit you've heard in Terminium or something. Next you'll tell me you saw the Lady of the Forest.
Why?
Don't know. Thin, with a crutch in her hand. She just stood on a hill, and it was like everybody around went deaf. Our hag also stood near the gate, inside of the fort, crossed her arms and kind of bent forward, as if walking into the wind. Then she vanished. I don't even know what to think. Yes, something to think about for sure. The Lady of the Forest is the last thing we need. Why is there no siege? Ask the one issuing orders from the other side. This fort may be standing on a cliff and difficult to assault, but it's hanging by a thread, and there's a myriad of attackers. I think their boss just doesn't give a crap. Or else all these bold defenders would find themselves impaled on those bandits' pikes. Wait, I think I'm missing something. What boss are you talking about? Some great leader managed to unite the local Gels and Vandals under his banner? There's a leader, to be sure. I've seen his silhouette at night, in the torchlight. A giant in chains, with a glaive in his hand. The moment he appears near the fires, the siege halted. Didn't even utter a word, yet all the fighting soldiers withdrew in unison and moved east. That's why we're leaving, too, lest we're cut off from Burkana. Dorfcall. There's never been anything like this. Seems they want nothing but to crush Burkana completely. Still one big question left. Alright, ask me. It's not that I don't want to help you, it's that I'm running out of time. You need to get out while you still can, too. Heard anything about Macht? Macht Brennan, I mean. Concern for his fate was one of the reasons we came here in the first place. His father was in Frigga a couple of days ago, headed for the White Tower. Drukit was also concerned with Macht's fate, being his mentor and all. Vaisana's best soldier can't save Macht. No one can. Anyway, he's being accompanied to Opacum, off to see his granddad. If he's still alive, of course. Well, thank you, Lon. We'll be on our way if you've nothing more to say. The onslaught may still resume. Seems we'll have to take one of the roads to Opacum. Wait. Go where everyone else goes. First be healed, where the water washes away the ineradicable sorcery, and listen to those who have an affinity with animals. That's what the old witch said. Haven't forgotten a word of that nonsense. Don't know what any of this means, Lon, but that's definitely not nonsense. Godspeed to all of us. Farewell. Then we'll talk to Ake. What's made Ake angry? Used to stay here. Grand fortress, this one. Maybe it's not as beautiful as Hyborg, or as formidable as Opacum, but it was so ancient and teeming with life. Now it's empty. Sana's soldiers didn't even close the gate on their way out. Hope they didn't just run for the hills in cowardice. Soldiers of Vaisana were the first Birkins to prepare for battle. As far as I know, Frigga doesn't have a huge garrison, though Prince Hedderlig personally assumed command to protect the fortress from the constant bandit attacks. Odala even sent him a squad of swordsmen to help. Let's not be licking Odala's boots just because they sent some swordsmen our way, shall we? Didn't Jurana send soldiers to patrol the Vandal forest as well? The only one to blame here is Gabona. They're part of Burkana too. They're categorically unwilling to help. They're only good at scavenging the roads. It's Gabona that built Frigga, Hyborg, and Opacum. They were the first ones to stand up to Frisia. Even now, despite the numerous threats delivered by Frisian messengers, and the resulting infighting, they never give up or betray their own. Remember that, Ake. I don't quite get you, Hopper. Saying I should be grateful to Gabona or something? Thank the bloated kingdom that brings nothing but misfortune? Name a single reason why. Just one. That's easy, Ake. Besides, there are many reasons, but I'll name the main three. Frigga, Hyborg, and Opacum. The three great Gabonan fortresses, which were peacefully transferred to the Five Kingdoms by Gabona to protect all of Burkana. Now I need some answers. Alright, how did Frisian troops end up ready for war? Who knows? Wasn't spying on them. Maybe they've got good fortune tellers. They foresaw the reaping. The Frisians got their shit together, assembled the troops, and stationed them near the border. Then the reaping strikes, and we're already at arm's length. Wasn't that they anticipated the reapings? They were the ones who called it forth, like Vandal shamans praying for rainfall. True, those shamans are less successful, but they don't seal their sorcery with blood either. The same can't be said of our temples. Why didn't Gabona become the sixth kingdom in the alliance? Because all the Gabonans are devious bastards. Well, their women are beautiful and their children are nice, but all the others are bastards. I guess I did meet a decent Gabonan once, but that was ages ago. They're not different from other Burkans in any way, though. Allied with Gabona, Burkana would be much stronger than Frisia. You'll be surprised to know who opposed this alliance. The Temple of Divine Retribution, that's who. Corazon included. It's incredibly strange. Neither Purta nor Redona defend the west of Burkana. Why? That was as obvious. Palians wait for an opportunity to bite at our flanks, or from the coast. Ships from Purta and Redona sail our waters. Don't forget that Frisia has its own fleet, and all the kingdom's capitals are near the sea. Palians haven't attacked in years. Frisia has never even tried to take Burkana's forts by sea. Still, there are advisors whispering into our rulers' ears, day and night, warning them of potential threats. That's why half our troops stay home. Alright, no time for more questions. Urgent matters to attend to. Leave Frigga. And keep going. Where are we headed? Opacum, way up here. Alright, so let's see. The Three Springs. So I should probably head towards the hot springs because of that clue about water healing stuff. Unless it's the Water Menhir. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna go chase water, basically, is what we're gonna do. Alright, we'll give in one more time. I don't want this curse over 80% though. The road starts to peter out. You begin to feel lost when the faint trail leads you to an unfamiliar fork. You'll have to check both ways, and you'll need to separate to do so. Arbitrarily, I choose left. You go left, and your companions head right. Soon enough, dense forest shields them from view. You ride on, probably into a trap. Before an hour passes, you run into a band of Gels who aren't willing to negotiate. You have to fight. Yep, that's kind of what I figured. Here we go again. These guys just don't quit. Well, assuming they don't walk... Assuming they don't act before I can get my next shoot. No such luck. Fine. Health up, then. Fired off the energy one first. Shoot. Oh well. I don't think Hopper's in any real danger here. It's annoying, sure, but you're not really in danger. Piece of cake. Once you're done with the gills, you return to the fork in the road. Ake waves. Looks like I've found the way. I ran into an old man who told me everything about the local roads. Should be a large village just over the hill. Stop milling about and get going. Great. Thanks, Ake. But we're not going back to the... Not going back to the Shaman's Tower, so... Forward to the Bear Inn. So much for the hot springs. Ake grumbles, spotting an inn surrounded by a palisade. Maybe we should ditch that inn, huh? Get some shut-eye in the forest? Wouldn't be a first. I heard the inn's owner is a crazy Gabonan. He's all buddy-buddy with the witches. Talks to bears. Rask interrupts the giant. Bollocks, all of it. Baztich isn't crazy. Never saw a witch in his life. And his bear is tame. They're like an old family tradition of his. They love animals. He started all the rumors so bandits would keep clear of the inn. The inn's owner meets you inside the gate. He's got a gloomy countenance, but tries his best to be hospitable. After some talk, you learn the reason behind his sour mood. His bear is ill, and the usual portions aren't helping at all. Remember the clue about following those who consort with beasts. Quite obviously it's Baztich, but how can you help? You're no expert on healing animals, although they're not that much different than humans. At least the potions the horse doctors use are quite similar. Let's try offering a potion. You open the saddlebag, removing a potion you've saved for a rainy day. You talk Baztich into giving it to the bear. Strange as it may seem, the potion actually works, and the bear definitely feels better. His spirits lifted, the inn owner offers you a free stay and drinks on the house. Great. You don't remember the last time you got drunk. Seems like it never even happened. Still, you drink so much booze during your stay at the inn that the next day you find yourself in the middle of a forest, an empty jar in your hand. You find yourself surrounded by Enzes and throw the jar aside. Sneaking up on me in every single forest or something? Or are you being driven by the same old hag that sent me on my way? Wake up drunk surrounded by hostiles is not... Yeah, this is not going to be a good hangover. But it is funny. There's only 5 of them. So yeah, have some damage. Normally I'd go for somebody else, but this guy hasn't moved yet. This seems like kind of a waste. But I don't want to eat that counterattack. Well, that worked remarkably well. After the battle, you find your way back to the inn and drive your companions back into their saddles. Baztich got so hammered yesterday that he doesn't even come out to say goodbye. You look for the owner to offer some help, but find him sleeping on the floor, arms around a chair. As you walk out of the house, you catch Baztich talking in his sleep. Must not forget to tell him. Read what's etched into the stone by the water, especially if they make you an offer. Okay then. So we don't have a choice, we don't have an option to go there, so we're going to have to take the Witch's Fell. Alright. An odd weariness washes over you, as if it's been accumulating to the point of overflowing. You pull the glove from your blackened hand and look at it closely. You wouldn't be surprised if it crumbled into ash or began smoldering right now. Ake listens. Hopper, I'm a bit tired. If we don't take a break within the hour, I'm afraid I'll fall off my horse. Call out to Rask and rubs his eyes, but he doesn't look like he's about to fall off his horse. Is it sorcery, Churlin? You ask. Fresh sap from some kind of sleeping grass. Ever since my hand was blackened, I've had trouble sensing the spells of others. Rask takes a sip from his flask and giggles. I've never been good at it. Why can't we set up camp and weave protective enchantments around it? And catch up on sleep, something I've dreamed about. Ah! Can we stop in this clearing? Wow, this seems like a trap. Like a big trap. Shake your head. No, Churlin. You should never simply accept what falls into your lap. Let's look for a lighter clearing. Not afraid of strange sorcery. I have a fairly good sense for it. Bright sunlight will make me feel better nevertheless. Rask takes another sip from his flask. There's one close by. A lighter clearing with bright sunshine flooding its center. We won't find a better place, Blance. Not a bad place to die if I say so myself. Ake sullenly shakes his head. Answer me this, Hopper. Why do you call Rask Churlin? why does he call you Blance? Are they code names or something? As for me, I've always been Ache. Nothing more, nothing less. I'll be Ache until I die. Rask laughed so hard he almost falls off his saddle. My dear Ache, names are like clothes. Eventually you get tired of them and want something new. Do you mind if I take your name when you die? Quite like it. Ache. It has a nice ring to it. Ache's face breaks out into a crooked smile. That's too bad. And what if I outlive you? Should I call myself Churlin then? Or Rask? I'm afraid my commander won't understand. You dismount and take a look around as you feed your trustworthy steed. Spring leaves rustle overhead. Grasses crunch softly underfoot. Will you finally be able to rest? And where did the dream come from? Why have you started calling Rask by his real name? What's gnawing at you? Silence is unnerving. You know that you're asleep. You can't move, no matter how hard you try. It feels as if your entire body has sprouted roots, tying you to the ground. You feel a sudden chill and open your eyes. Your companions are also immobilized. They look like melting wax effigies. Only Rask's beard sticks up suddenly. His gentle snoring wafts to the green vault of the forest. On a sunken log, you see a familiar figure. Come sit, but don't you dare run. I'm not like your friend Amma, no doubt, but you're a fast son of a bitch nonetheless. Tired of sorting this mess out. I've lost my physical body twice in the last month. Entire month to restore my former appearance. You already know that, don't you? How did you manage to bind me with your spells? You've never had power over me before. Wait, magic of the grass. How can it be? How long have we been sleeping here? More than a day? Guessed right. Adna helped me. She imparted some of her abilities to me for a while. In any case, that's not the reason I'm here. I want to offer you a deal with terms you'll find favorable. Do you want to learn the secret of this reaping? Do you want to know how mortals resisted a reaper? I won't serve you. I can't help you. Yeah, I won't serve you. Don't believe a single word you say. What's the point of even asking you? How can you make pacts with someone you don't trust? What are you plotting? Do you plan to destroy this world just like the last one? You're putting the cart before the horse. Fulfill your part of the bargain first, and you'll have your full explanation. In case you're thinking of backing out, know that you won't be able to. Just like your unfortunate friend here, you're too firmly affixed to your physical body. Whoa! Sprout pierces your hand, painting it with blood. Nakoma gets to his feet and changes his appearance, then sends a root hurtling at Rask. Turns into a wooden dagger mid-flight and pierces your friend's chest. He writhes in fatal agony. Always have to meddle, or reproduce uncontrollably like your friend Korboff. He's also a wanderer who made the same end. You'll see. He'll go all the way to Opacum attempting to save his progeny. He's Hedderling's best warrior now. Poor sod. The death of an Umbra, even someone like Churlin, is exhilarating. Before you die, listen to me. I'm not asking you to betray anyone, but you've already betrayed Churlin. I'm not even asking you to kill wretched mortals. All you need to do is be a witness. Watch and record. Adna's root, still sleek with Rask's blood, is in the Reaper's hands again. Try to dodge it, but it presses to your chest, almost piercing it. You scream in pain. What do you want from me, Atrach? Not much. Go to Opacum and do what you intend to do. Look around and commit what you see to memory, and write it all down. The gods will reward you, and not just them. I'll personally ensure that you meet your heart's desire in Opacum. I agree. Wait! Who am I supposed to meet in Opacum? What heart's desire are you talking about? The Track does not reply. As his silhouette dissolves into thin air, as the slough of grass swallows up Churlin's hollow carcass, and as Ake comes to his senses, you wonder whether you've become a slave again, or not yet. Why don't you feel your friend's death? Could Atrach have taken Rask's spirit? Why would he? And why was Korboff's name mentioned? You'll ponder all this later. You have to carry on with your journey now. You have to think of a way to explain Rask's disappearance. I mean, he died? That's not really... Oh no. The road lulls you into a daydream, but then a stabbing pain in your blackened arm, followed by a burst of pain in the back of your head, all but knocks you out of the saddle. Scanning the road ahead, you notice a band of Enzes. You remember them. These are special Enzes, the Reaper's hounds. They present a challenge, even for you. Negotiate, attack, leave the road. If we run, we're just gonna die tired. Negotiate. Fearing that you won't make it off the road in time, you address the Enzes in the temple tongue. You tell them that you are Dorkal's shadow. It's impossible to tell if they understand you. You shout to Ake, but before he can draw his sword, flashing blades fly out like bright sparks. You deflect one of them, as Ake falls off his mount. It looks like he's merely wounded. Leaving your horse behind, so the Enzes don't kill it, you rush the enemy. The more distance between you and Ake, the better his chances for survival. Okay, well this is gonna be interesting then. So I think always take the health option when it's available with him. Otherwise go for energy. See, that won't get me a kill. This might actually be a problem. Oh boy, did we luck out. That card saved my bacon. You find Ake in the aftermath. The giant warrior blacked out after falling and hit his head. Quickly bring him back to his senses. What in blazes? He grumbled. Is this a trick? Why didn't they finish me off? They easily could have. Or would they just wound me and leave? Got off with a wound because these Enzes don't grant quick deaths, you explain. They squeeze every last drop of suffering out of you. Be begging them for death, but go mad with pain before they oblige. Ake slowly gets to his feet, binds his arm with a strip of linen, and gets into the saddle. Let's get as far away as possible from here, Hopper. Just looking at the corpses of these abominations makes me sick. No argument there. Alright, now we make our way to the Water Menhir. Alright, now we're gonna resist, because I don't think having the curse go to 98% is a good idea. You approach the campground that hunters consider the best place to rest in this part of the forest. Few of them realize that the exhilaration and strength that fills them here, and even heals them, doesn't come from lake water, but from the menhir serving as a bridge to a tiny island. They say that it doesn't absorb poison, even during the reaping. Now's your chance to put that claim to the test. You remember Lon's words. Try to picture the witch who enticed you with riddles and promises of lifting the curse, forcing you to wander the roads of Terminium. You miss Churlin Rask, the only one among your kin whom you considered a friend. Even then he didn't tell you what happened many years ago, when he became permanently attached to his physical body, and the Ashen Wasteland came into being. Huge vandal pines give way to low fir trees. A waft of fresh air carries the scent of water. Seagulls glide overhead. There's a glint of water beyond the tree trunks. The scent of reeds is laced with the smell of blood. The clearing looks like a scene of a recent battle. The island is here. Get off your horse and lean over to examine the ground. Ake whistles in appreciation of the lake's expansiveness, the island with the ruins, and the stones jutting out of the water, and the forest wall on the opposite shore. Now that's something. I've never been here before, though I've heard about an island favored by fishermen and hunters alike. Probably trashed the place. What have you found on the ground there, Hopper? You straighten yourself. Oh, it's nothing. Let's set up camp on the island, shall we? Ake dismounts, shaking his head in disbelief. Apart from being a healer, a bookworm, and a sorcerer, you're a tracker now? Can't read the prints, but for some reason I don't see any blood. Or bodies, for that matter. Shrug. Just a matter of habit. The bodies could have been dumped into the water. You search by the little dam where the river flows from the lake. Probably find them. I don't recommend drinking the water. Take a break for a couple of hours and carry on. You hear no response, and turn to see Ake sinking into the tall grass at the water's edge. Dull green blades entangle his feet and the legs of his horse. "Don't kill him, Adna," you say, before turning to face the island again. "It's done you no wrong." On the other side of the bridge, Adna smirks maliciously. "Don't care for scurvy mortals. I need you, Blance. Come here. Don't be afraid." You're rooted to the ground. Adna, the bane of the Vandal forest, the Umbra overseer, and the killer of their offspring, has come to converse with you, or kill you, just like she killed Churlin by Nakoma's hands, having charmed the poor fellow with her magic. What do you want, Adna? Send me where you sent Churlin? Why did you do it? What are you plotting with Dorfkel and Atraka? This is a reaping, Blance. They happen sometimes. It's not my fault that Churlin no longer exists, but his own. He dabbled in ancient magic and got trapped in that body. As for Nakoma, he likes to have fun. I lent my sword, but now I have it back. How are you going to use it against me? I haven't heard an answer yet. What do you want from me? You'll answer a couple of questions for me first. What kind of curse grips your hand? Who is the sorceress bewitching your path? And where are you headed? I'm going to Opacum. We know that. Yes, I've heard of it. The only pure place left in Burkana. So far, that is. I've already chosen the right path. It's an easy choice to make. There was no other path laid out before you, after all. Plotting something, too. Is Corzon on your side? Why are you having everyone gather at Opacum? What's wrong with this reaping? Answer me. We're all in the same boat, whether you agree or not. Your opinion is of no consequence. Don't forget your place. Servant of a servant. A vassal. A blank slate. A messenger. A courier. You're so arrogant that you think you're human. What are you saying? Deeming oneself a wretched mortal is tantamount to arrogance to you? Fine, in that case, I so call myself a wretched mortal. I don't know what this curse is. Yet it overpowers you, Blance, binds you to this body, making you mortal. It also consumes you, though it's linked to the reaping somehow. Curious spellcraft, indeed. Don't know anything about it. This curse is like a blindfold. I feel like I'm wearing a leaden suit of armor that grows heavier with each step. What business of it is yours? Everything concerns me. The curse grows heavier because it absorbs the reaping, sapping its power. That's why I'm so interested. You won't last long at this rate. As for your blindness, we'll put it to the test soon enough. No Umbra can diminish the reaping's power, so I'm not holding my breath. As you can see, it's pointless to kill me. And no, I don't know who the sorceress is. There must be a connection between you. Everything happens for a reason. I sensed her behind Frigga's walls, but I couldn't get closer. She's much too strong for a simple witch. Too strong, even, for the one I had initially taken her for. Don't know who you're referring to, but what did you want to ask her? Why is someone ruining your precious reaping? Who's interfering with your plans and saving people from insanity? Told you, I don't care about wretched mortals, as long as they suffer and die when I need them to. The witch, on the other hand, she cares. That stumps me. Even you don't give a damn about humans. Let me decide for myself who I give a damn about. Nothing else to tell you. I have something to tell you, Blance. Don't know who that witch is, but if the gods granted her power, it's them that she serves. It makes sense for me to help her. That's why I've met her here. Do you know what you have to do? Read a certain phrase. Something connected to death and restoration. Words carved for eternity. I don't suppose they're carved into your hand. I do not heal others. Many believe this stone has healing powers. But there's a grave here with an inscribed tombstone. Perhaps it relates to death, and erasing the inscription is no easy task. The stone itself would have to be crushed. What do you need me for, then? You have the stone and the inscription. Read it. See for yourself that it's gibberish. I can't read it, Blance. If I could, I wouldn't be waiting for you here. You need to read the inscription now. If you don't, someone close to you will die, and you'll have to go to Opacum alone. By the way, I have news of your Amma. Or is she no longer your Amma? Damn you, I'll read it. Look closer, you might be able to read it with me. It says, "But you will not keep misfortune away." That's it. It's just a decoration. It's been reused as a grave marker. Right up here by accident. That wasn't happenstance. Otherwise, I'd be able to read it myself. But you will not keep misfortune away. There are really many ways of going about it. One man's misfortune is another man's happiness. The witch is toying with you, Blance. Whatever you say. What else do you want from me? Can I go now? What are you going to say about Amma? You're looking for a squad led by someone called Thorn, aren't you? You may still catch him, even overtake him if you put your mind to it. Don't know why this witch drives you to Opacum, but I advise you to make it to the fort. It'll be a sight to behold. Amma was here, but she left for Opacum. Her fate will be decided there. Perhaps yours too, Blance. Amma is a seeress. Do you think she'd go to Opacum if something were threatening her? Her prophecies aren't set in stone. Curses, she vanished. Didn't get a chance to ask her. Thank the gods, it seems she's called off her sorcery. Adna's spell dissipates, along with its caster. Ake's horse shivers. The giant gets onto his feet, shaking off sudden drowsiness. Yawning, dejected about his weakness, he goes to the water's edge and rinses his face. He's frustrated by the senselessness of staying in this enchanted place any longer. You take one final look around in any case. Adna's been hiding something in the ruins. You step onto the bridge, stoop down, and touch the menhir's wet edge. Feel a rush of exhilaration and strength, but your hand remains black. The water menhir can't cure everything, but at least it's not full of poison. Tell you we're not resting here? Ake asks as he mounts his horse. It's a fine spot, but spooky. My ears are ringing. Never cared much for sorcery personally. Shall we get going? Nod in agreement. Seems like Ake is sensitive to magic. What are you sensitive to? The voice ringing in your head is that of the High Umbra you like least of all. Adna, the mistress of the forest and grasses. She can bend the will of any living creature, but not yours. You cannot see me, but I'm still here, she hisses. I have a message for you from that witch. Find those loathed by all, and you will know all that was and all that will be, all that could have been and all that can be. That's all she said, which in turn I tell you, purely out of curiosity. The unknown entices me. After a pause, Adna continues. Now there is something I want you to relay to Quarbaf, or whatever he's called now, Drewer, Drukit, Maybach, or something else. I'm sure he'll show up in Opacum. I killed many of his offspring, who will now serve our purpose. Please bow before him. He's done a magnificent job spreading seeds infused with Umbra essence. You rub your temples and shake your head. Ache looks at you quizzically. You nudge your horse. It seems better to get away from the Water Menhir as soon as possible. After all, there are many roads leading to Opacum. And we're still going. And curse is at 91%. Great. So we've got the border road, Pilgrim's Path, the prison road. Let's take the prison road. It looks like it'll get us there faster. Although probably not. Give in one more time. You meet a couple of terrified villagers on the road and ask Ache to investigate. Have Frisian patrols really made it this far east? If that's the case, you'll be hard-pressed to reach Opacum. The giant returns with news that no Frisians have been sighted, but the villagers decided to remove some of the masonry in the derelict prison. They went through a lot, though. Parents used tales of Khan the Executioner, the ghost that haunts the place, to scare their children. Fear and loathing are still deeply rooted within these people. Adna's words echo in your mind. Find those loathed by all. But the executioner's long dead. Even if there's more to the story than a fairy tale, and the ruins are truly haunted, is that really something you want to deal with? Yes, we're going to go to the prison. You turn toward the prison, but Ache isn't eager to join you. You turn, eyebrows raised in inquiry, but Ache just shrugs. You'd better face this unholy abomination alone, he says. I've no qualms fighting people, but spirits are another matter. You're brave enough to venture forth alone. Feel a surge of magic energy as you approach the illusion, and a person appears before you. Is it a ghost? Just an illusion? You can't tell. It's some sophisticated witchery. My name is Khan, the man says, breaking the silence. Great power has pulled me from the world of the dead into the land of the living. Khan looks alive enough. As you try to comprehend the inner workings of the powerful spell, you stall for time. My name's Hopper Rowley. My horse led me here. Do you mind telling me what sort of power reanimated you? Was it a peculiar old woman by chance? Khan ignores the question and points at you. That name! You're the one I've been waiting for. You must see what was and what might have been. And I guess the way we see what was and what might have been is a fight. Because of course it is. That's a lot of guys. I'm gonna back up and let them come to me then. Rude. Really not sure if I should be this aggressive, but I'm gonna. Yeah, this might have been a mistake. Yep, that was a mistake. Should have just been patient and let them come to me. Alright, so we're just going to position over here. And we're going to use our range stuff and make them come close. Kind of a chicken move, but it'll definitely work better. So there's one down already. do finally get close enough to kill him, ought to be able to knock him out pretty quick. But now that they're close, alright, and that takes out everybody. That worked much better. You awaken in prison after the battle. Doesn't look like a ruin at all. At least the cell you're sharing with Khan certainly doesn't. I can swear to it being a wandering menhir, but I've never fought Gels there. What's all this about? You ask the executioner. This is a battle that happened, or perhaps did not, the ghost calmly answers. And it was fought by one whose fate may or may not be intertwined with yours. A stranger may prove useful, and someone you know may pose a great threat. Now I need to ask you a question. What you need to do is give the right answer. Compose yourself. Another trial awaits. When will they ever end? Should you play the game? Or maybe just exorcise the ghost? You've already puzzled out the way the enchantment is woven. It may look complicated, but it's quite fragile. Of course, you could just slay the executioner. Somebody went to all the work of making this enchantment, so let's play along. Khan sighs. Listen well. Of all the men you've met after the reaping began, who's got the most dangerous streak in him? Say his name and I'll tell you if you're right or not. Coma, Corzon, Trieg, Hedderlieg, Thorn. I'm gonna go with Thorn. Shoot. Khan grows dark. Mad Thorn might prove extremely dangerous should you stand in his way. God spare us from his wrath. However, the question did not concern the kind of danger posed to you personally. Your answer is incorrect. Khan winces. I'll give you another try. You'll have to pay for it too. Now try again. Paying more isn't something you wanted to do, but there's no turning back. Well, in that case, it's probably Corzon. Khan nods. Yes, Corazon has the cunning of a serpent slithering among the rocks. Callous and calculating, he is the most dangerous. An enemy to be dreaded. Now, since you've given the right answer, heed this. Read the stone in Opacum. Khan slowly disappears. The prison walls become transparent. Before he vanishes, the ghost speaks. Farewell. Don't forget you'll need to pay for the extra chance I gave you. Khan vanishes into thin air. The sharp pain makes you scream. Somehow there's an old rusty knife protruding from your leg. You pull it out and stop the bleeding, but the wound needs attention as soon as possible. Let's use a potion. You open the saddlebag, find the potion you're looking for, and use it. The wound heals instantly. Return to the road and continue your journey. Okay. Alright, up the prison road we go. You make camp for the night. Sitting by the fire, you write down the day's events in your notebook. Ake settles opposite you, clearly expecting to chat. How do you know all of this? What good is knowing? Can you trust the books? Why would anyone want to know what a warrior named Ake thought, and where he went? Why dwell on the wars and misfortunes of the past? Wouldn't it be better to put it all behind you?
Hmm?
I need your story, Ake. I need your story, it's true. For the historians who sift through mounds of old manuscripts, stories like yours are the most precious of finds. It's just that most people aren't trying to make it into the history books. They just live their lives the best they can. Without these memories of the past, all lives are far less enriched. I noticed you don't like people, Hopper, even when you help them. It's like you're watching it all from a carriage window, covering your nose with a handkerchief when the stench gets too thick. Who are you, damn it? What's to like, Ake? The fact that you kill each other? That you whip your children to death? Beat your wives? Crowd in to watch your brethren being tortured? Grab everything you can just for the sake of having more? Tell me, what's there to like? Are you any better, whoever you are? If people like you took their own lives 700 years ago, aren't they being selfish? Do you even know how many people died? 9 out of 10 houses fell into that abyss, and the reaping didn't kill as many. What use, you ask? Listen, then. In the year 93, during the Battle of the Southern Isles, the Isanan king held his fleet back and didn't finish off the Palians. Do you want to know why? The king had studied the Battle of Datter and knew the Palians' secret signals. They planned to lure the Burkan navy into the sharp rocks. Yeah, I heard that. Some fools even cursed him. It only happened once. What difference would it make if it happened 10 or even 100 times? There are books about the reaping useful if even you admit every reaping's different. Compare then. Look for clues, discover and study. Otherwise, don't complain when you're serving a pile of bullshit on a silver platter. When will you finally learn that your memories are like roots? Without them, the tree falls. You'll never understand humans. Don't stare at me like that. Flesh and blood, just like you. Beware of oblivion, Ake. Books are the remedy. didn't know what happened yesterday, how would you know what to do today? Can you trust books? No more than you can trust people. Trust no one but yourself. Books are just like people. One may lie, another may speak the truth. Verify for yourself. Kings always glorify themselves. Criminals hide their crimes. And commanders hide their cowardice. There's so many books. By comparing them, you get closer to the truth. Read. Can't. Get book sick. My head wants to burst. I'd rather fight 3 battles than read 3 pages. Is it different for you? How do you manage to get through all of that ornate lettering? Believe it or not, I did it willingly. Everyone has different inclinations. Perhaps all you need to do is listen to those who freely share their wisdom. They'll request something else from you, something that you can give. But you're not their dog of war. Even the wise men have given their lives. Alright, let's end this conversation then. You know the answers already. You're mad at yourself, not me. No matter who I really am. You're right about one thing. I have no reason to like people. But that doesn't mean I want them dead. Well, I don't wish the piglet dead either. But I do enjoy my pork roast. A word of warning, Hopper. Mercenaries are the first to desert. I'll remember that, in case I become a mercenary. I'm just a tax-paying freelancer at the moment. Misfortune rarely befalls people, though. Every man carries his personal misfortune with him. Continuing on the prison road. And hydrating. Ake notices a man squirming at the end of a rope. Either someone tried to hang him, or he did it himself. Ake rushes to save the poor fellow. You shrug and step aside. Even if you wanted to help, you'd just be in Ake's way. Honestly, he doesn't need it. Well, let's investigate. Finding a rare and valuable plant encourages you to go further into the forest. You stumble upon bandits of the worst kind. The hanged man was bait for their ambush. You have no choice but to fight. Should have known. Would have done it anyway, but should have known. Alright, bunch of standard issue bandits. And just like the last fight, I think I'm just gonna let them come to me. So I can just pound him at range. Okay, sure, let's get some health back. Or boosted. Whatever. Okay, well, we'll just mosey over here. See, I'd be annoyed that he got all his energy back, but he's the last guy, so it doesn't matter. As soon as you mount your horse after the battle, Ache finds you. So it seems, the giant said, surveying the dead. Bastard wasn't hanging from his neck, but from his collar. Tried to help. There was no news to free him from. He almost stabbed me. And then he tried to hide in the bushes. He hasn't gone far, though. You nod. And since all has ended well, no good people were hurt, and the bad ones are all dead, let's move on. We've lost enough time already. Alright, to Opacum. You approach Opacum and stop, mesmerized. Just like every time you've seen the ancient fortress. Nothing has changed. Its walls and towers are sturdy as ever, and its dead menhir is still surrounded in mystery. However, it feels as though dark clouds have settled over the fort. You outpaced the Frisians, but you cannot hear the stampede of a moving army or smell their campfires. They are coming. Ache raises himself in the stirrups, arms skyward, and exclaims, "O blessed Opacum! Never have you been conquered by the enemy. Never was your gate smashed asunder. Never have you greeted a reaper within. You've made it, Blance. Frisians are not here yet." Shield your eyes. The shimmer of the Milky Mountain's snowy peaks is blinding. Well, the banners adorning the fort are definitely Burkanan, so everything's in order. Let's see if there's someone to rival our luck. By the way, Ache, the Reapers can manifest themselves in Opacum. Only partially, though. They won't have their full power. They'll look like you and me. Ache can't seem to calm down. Let them. When I don't have my full strength, nor my armor, not too good a fighter. It'd be the same with Reapers. They look like normal humans and live normal lives between reapings. You smile alertly. If only you knew how right you were, Ache. However, Reapers can easily charge themselves before you can put on your armor and ready your sword. So, let's first get inside the fortress, shall we? Hope we can manage that. Your small company approaches a steep incline leading to the fort's main gate. Dismount and lead your horses by their bridles, noticing the watchmen observe you from their bastions. The gate remains shut until Ache bangs on its iron sheets with his fists and feet. Finally, the gate slowly opens, allowing you inside. The guards briskly lead you and Ache to the commander before you can even catch your breath. You note the undeniable purity of this place. and your blackened hand has stopped hurting. You're brought before Stockett Victi, whom you glimpsed back in Oda. He's grown quite old since then, but hardly anyone would dare say that to his face. Who are you? Where are you headed? Hey, I've seen you, big fellow. You're part of the Juranin Prince's escort, right? And it's you lot Cardinal Corazon's been telling me about? Yes, Your Grace. Not exactly sure what the Cardinal told you. I've been sent after Thorn Brennan. Been in hot pursuit since Albius. Not a squad commander, though. Here he is, Baron Hopper Rowley of Redona. I welcome you, Baron. You've made it to Opacum. Quite a feat considering the situation. Though Thorn Brennan still isn't at the fort, you've missed him, it seems. Been following him, Your Grace. I dropped by Frigga looking for your grandson, but we don't know if he succeeded. There are many ways to Opacum from there. Perhaps we managed to outpace him. Well, I can only hope so. When I saw you leave that forest, my heart sank, Baron. From a distance, you looked like Thorn. And then I didn't see my granddaughter with you. Oh, Your Grace, you can hardly mistake any of us for Gleda Breeden, can you? Is Corazon waiting for your granddaughter, too? Why would he? What would a temple servant need for my granddaughter? As far as I understand, he is here waiting for the newly crowned Trieg. Although I've no idea why a Juranin ruler would come here at all. I'm sorry, Your Grace. It's just that Cardinal Corazon has been quite upset over her fate. Perhaps Cardinal Corazon isn't just a callous, insensitive, cold fish like all the other temple servants. Or he just wanted to please me somehow. We've run into each other in Oda a couple of times. Will you let us stay in the fortress? Well, you can stay, if you're not afraid of the 3 legions of Frisians coming here from the Burkanan Highway. Though, keep in mind, the food and water supply is only meant for the fortress's defenders. When I request to be stationed by one of Opacum battlements, provided I get my rations, or whatever you deem necessary, Your Grace. I think we're all ready to defend your fortress, Count. You should know I'm quite a skillful healer, and I can handle a sword as well. Trieg wouldn't hire you otherwise. Well, let it be. We'll send someone to appoint you to your stations. The only thing left for us to do then is await your orders. Less talking, healer. Don't rely on me to find you a job. For something to do. That applies to you too, Ake. Only thing left to do is bow out. Seems like you're left to your own devices. At least until the siege.
Hey folks, Aaron here. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it and you want more, please hit the subscribe button, like it, all that stuff, and don't forget the alerts for when I post new videos. New videos go up every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 a.m. Central. Vlogs and gaming content. You can also find me at my blog, stickstoriesscotch.blogspot.com, my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/shadowcaster, and a lot of other writing over on Mariner's Rock. Hope you'll be back next time. Until then, remember, keep your knees in the breeze and the shiny side up. And now, I gotta ride.